Here we go!
Well guys, I cannot believe that we're already here at this stage of all places. But when you play a Sonic game, time is known for going fast. Faster than Sonic even. Anyway, what's up? This is Gamer Blake 90, your proud chief of the blue blurs and the red blurs, since Knuckles is such an attention seeker, and we'll be running into him again very soon. Plummeting straight into the Lava Reef Zone from Sonic 3 and Knuckles. And I'm pretty sure you don't need me to tell you any of this, but this is one of those stages that just has that charm to it you simply cannot ignore. Like, seriously, look at Lava Reef, or better yet, listen to Lava Reef. Exactly what notes does this stage not hit for stage design, for the iconic soundtrack, for the gimmicks that keep you engaged throughout the entire stage? What is there not to like about it exactly? Save that little gas pump we just destroyed. If you touch any of the clouds that it generates, it will actually suffocate you and cause you to lose rings. How do you get rid of it? Ah, that's right, you get rid of it by spin dashing. I thought you get rid of it by jumping, but it turns out spin dashing is the only way to go for getting rid of those pesky things. Funny story, as a kid, when I first ran into that cloud from that gas pump, I panicked when it started taking away my ring, and I turned the game off right after. At which point, I'm sure you all are probably on the verge of asking, like, wait a minute, the Sandopolis Zone, especially the second act, was pretty spooky in its own right, and that didn't make you turn the game off. So why would a gas pump on Lava Reef achieve a different result? And my honest answer to that is, I don't know. That was a hazard I never before encountered in any Sonic game up until that point, so I wasn't known for mental composure as a child, so yeah, I kind of panicked and turned the game off right away. But don't worry, eventually I got used to it and beat the rest of the game. Obviously I did, or else I wouldn't be so well informed on the ins and outs of Sonic 3 and Knuckles. But anyway, back to the stage. You'd be very hard-pressed to tell me any note this stage doesn't hit because it just nails everything in all the right places. And it is especially significant to the storyline of Sonic 3 and Knuckles, as you'll see when we get to a certain point in Act 2, but first... Aw man, couldn't exactly destroy it. Not that you could anyway, because no matter how many hits you deal against the burrower, as we'll call it, it will never be destroyed at all. It's not meant to be destroyed that way, as it's meant to actually guarantee you safe passage, or as safe a passage as it gets, through the first act of Lava Reef. In other words, it's part of the stage's design. Now, it goes without saying, I'm sure, but the fire shield will be your shield of choice when dealing with the Lava Reef Zone, because most of its hazards are fire-related. That also includes those explosive rocks where they will simply bounce off of you after they explode, so you won't have to worry about them doing you any kind of harm at all. And I think if you don't have an elemental shield, you could still jump to repel them, but I haven't really tested that because rarely will I ever lose my shield, unless we're playing the Sandopolis Zone, which apparently is still challenging to me after all of these years. But let's not revisit unpleasant memories. We've done enough of that as it is in the last video. Do I want the... Nah. The electric shield has its uses... Oh! Yo, guys, you all see that? There's a big ring nearby, and because it's flashing multicolored like the rainbow, it's applying that exact same visual effect to the smaller rings as well. Like, look at that. I totally forgot it did that. I think it did that in the initial game, so I would hope it carried over to Sonic 3 AIR. That's pretty cool to look at. Like, look at that. Multicolored rings. Why couldn't every ring be like that without the presence of a big ring? But unfortunately, we're gonna have to forego that visual effect for the moment. And, I'm wondering, where exactly is that big ring again, and how do you get to it? I'm trying to remember. As often I played this game, you'd think I would easily remember, but man, clearly not. But I think... Whoa, what the heck? I did not actually know you could stand inside that breakable wall. That was weird to look at. Okay, so you can't get to it through that wall up there. You probably have to go through a little bit more of a state before you can actually reach it, and I gotta wait for that lamp... Wait, hold on! Hold on! There's a passable wall up there! Tails! Tails! I need you! Well, provided you can avoid that fireball entirely. Actually, you know what? It'll be safer to start up his flight mechanic down here. Tails! Okay, there we go. That's what I needed. Well, the fireball doesn't knock me off of him. So I had the fire shield, so it shouldn't. Ah! So that's how you get to that big ring. I'm gonna be honest. For years, I'd known about that big ring's existence at that part of Lava Reef, but never did I collect it. Unless I used debug mode, then it was free picking from there, but I never bothered to examine the passageway that you took to get to that big ring. So, I'm still learning new things about this game. As weird as that might be. Although I don't think it's all that weird, because even after decades, people are still discovering optimal strategies for their speedruns of the classic Sonic games. So, well, crap. I didn't want to trade the fire shield away, but whatever. The electric shield has its uses as well, so I'm gonna make the most of it. Tails, you better watch out, boy! I know that thing can't entirely kill you. We aren't exactly playing Sonic 2 on the Game Gear, where not collecting all the Chaos Emeralds can in fact kill you. Well, that's kind of a running joke on the bad ending of Sonic 2 Game Gear that I'm sure most of you know about by now, and yes, I will play through that game eventually. I don't know when, because that's one game I'm not particularly looking forward to exploring, because it is nefarious for its highly steep difficulty curve. Especially in the boss act, where you can't pick up any rings at all. Almost lost my electric shield. I forgot it didn't keep me safe from fireballs. But yeah, I'm not looking forward to covering Sonic 2 for the Game Gear, but eventually I'll swallow my pride and do it. I just hope that, in comparison to when I was a kid, I can play through that game a lot better than I did back then, because, man, it was a pain. And I'm sure those who grew up in the 90s knew exactly what I'm talking about. For a multitude of reasons at that, one of which is the Game Gear went through batteries like crazy. I'm so glad the days of relying on AA batteries for our gaming needs are behind us. Anyway, be careful. There are a lot of opportunities in Lava Reef to be crushed by those spiked, whatever you call them exactly. Like those things that rise up and down and then drop back onto the ground. We'll just call it spiked platforms for the sake of ease. And as far as these trams, I think it's a proper term for them, you spin dash towards the left and they'll go down. Spin dash towards the right and they'll go up. Basically like elevators, but they need to be manually operated. Not the first time I've run into a gimmick like that, so it was pretty easy to figure out. Whoa, holy crap. About 7.5 minutes, and we've only been in the first act. Dang! These days are a lot longer in length than I remember them being. But here we are, the Act 1 mini-boss. You don't exactly need to take out those cannons that will spit out those completely harmless balls at this point that you have Elemental Shield, but for the sake of speeding up your completion rate for this boss act, then you might as well just get rid of them. And it will be made all the easier having an Electric Shield, because the projectiles can't hurt you, and you get a double jump, which will enable you to reach them a heck of a lot easier. And then there's that oversized hand. I've got some advice for you guys. Talk to the hand! But seriously, wait for it to smack the ground, and then jump on top of it to do damage. A good tactic you can use here, just stand in place, and then as soon as the hand stops moving at all, that's a sign that it's about to come slamming onto the ground. Jump immediately, and the hand will miss you as it hits the ground, and you'll be landing back on top of it, doing damage in the process. You don't even need to worry about moving to the left or right to avoid it at all. Just wait for it to freeze, and get ready to attack, then jump right before it actually does attack, and well, there's not much more to say, really. Easily takes care of that boss, and oh yes, the second act, oh goodness. Sonic 3 was iconic for the edits to his soundtrack as you transitioned in between acts, but this would easily rank among my top 3 transitions. Well, it did up until I lost an Electric Shield, but a Fire Shield would make for excellent compensation. Look at this, though. I feel like, excuse me, I feel like they took notes on Sonic CD's Quartz Quadrant when they designed this stage's layout, and it feels like it got 10 times better. Cause look at this. It's still a very hazardous stage to contend with or without the Fire Shield, cause if your platforming is poor, you could end up getting flattened into a pancake, but This soundtrack just gives you such a calming vibe, even though you are headed directly towards the very last leg of this game, as this is the first of the last few stages you'll ever get to play through, but if there's anything Sonic 3 and Knuckles is known for doing, it's sending you out with a bang. Especially once you picked up all the Chaos and the Super Emeralds. Plus, there are plenty of immaterial walls you can pass through to find all kinds of items, including, as you might have guessed, big rings. Also, if I'm right, I think this marks your very last opportunity to find any big rings so that you can collect the Chaos and the Super Emeralds. Because after you've beaten this act, you won't get any more opportunities like that. And I don't believe there are any big rings in the stages that come after this one. I'm fairly sure of that anyway, especially considering how drastic a turn the storyline make after you beat the Lava Reef Zone. And I'm pretty sure you guys know what exactly I'm talking about. Crap, I didn't want that bubble shield. It's not gonna be useful for Lava Reef at all. Although what's interesting about this act is that some of these interactions will employ 3D aspects. Like for one, these spike balls will not hit you immediately until they actually go towards the foreground. Like, you can't really tell because they never really change color or anything like that when they head towards the background, but they won't always hit you when they're in plain sight. It's only when they actually move towards the front of that pole right there. Indicate how you avoid it, just wait for it to go to the other side and then pass over that pole around which the spiked balls are spinning. Like, why exactly did you jump into that flamethrower knowing full well that it was active? What is wrong with you? Yes, I talk to myself. Because believe it or not, often the most intelligent conversations you could have are with yourself. But anyway, spiked balls are not a thing in the past because there's even more of them. Gonna have to watch out. You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna go into the bonus stage because I had the gumball machine and that's a bonus stage I can warm up to quite easily. No, oh. Okay, so Tails picked up the ring for me, thanks to him. And I got the fire shield, so I'm done here. There's nothing more that I need to do. Although I could have picked up those rings that fell out of that gumball machine at the very last moment, but you don't really need them. And seriously, look at our life counter. I believe we're at 67. So we somehow managed to get a game over at all. I'm gonna be surprised, but I don't think we'll have that concern on our hands. Anyway, another upside to Lava Reef, for both the first act and the second act, there's a multitude of pathways that you can take to make your way towards the end. And there's a dramatically different route Knuckles takes toward the end if you're playing as him, for the purposes of his storyline. But we're playing as Sonic, so that's not really up for discussion right now. Well, there is another fire shield. I guess I might as well pick it up, though if I want to be really optimal, I could have just saved it. And there's another big ring, so that's gonna guarantee us another extra life. We're knocking on the door 70 lives now. Crazy. Alright, this may make you panic a little bit, but the key here is to stay calm. It looks very likely that you'll get crushed here, depending on how the blocks have been positioned and of their moving patterns, but really, just don't panic and be patient and you'll make it through there just fine. If you panic at all and dawdle, then yeah, you're bound to get a result that you really, really don't want. But trust me, don't be deceived by how it looks. It looks like you'll get crushed there, but really you won't, as long as you keep on the move. Explosive rocks, not a threat to us. And we have more of these to worry about. Again, just wait for them to go to the other side of the pole, and then make your way past them, and they will not pester you at all. Seriously, Quartz Quadrant has had to have inspired this stage design. Like, I just can't see how it didn't. Like, look at this. Look at this state and tell me this doesn't remind you of Quartz Quadrant. Or am I going crazy? I don't think I am. Also, that sound effect is a warning sign of these traps that will send spike balls up into the air. So another giveaway for them will be the lights flashing around the contraptions. Just pay close attention to them and plan your jumps accordingly so you don't get taken by surprise. I'm sure that goes without saying though. And there's a switch right here that you can press to open this gate and find yet another big ring. I did tell you there was an abundance of them in Lava Reef Act 2, didn't I? As for this switch, normally you would need to press that at the— Oh, never mind. Oh boy. Can't believe we're already near the end of this game. I was kinda hoping the series would go on for a little bit longer, but oh well. As for how many more videos we'll need to wrap up this series, other than this one, we'll probably need 2 or 3 more depending on what exactly I plan to do with the upcoming stages. So for those subscribed to my channel, you'll know immediately when I make a decision. Well, those flamethrowers would normally be panic inducers, but man, this fire shield makes Lava Reef a stage on easy mode. I might as well be honest. By the way, don't fall alongside those crumbling platforms or you'll lose a life, because there are empty pits down below us right now. Though soon they won't be lethal because, as you can see, we're about to approach a cutscene, but before we actually engage the cutscene, up there is the death egg sticking out through the roof of the Lava Reef stage. No, your eyes are not deceiving you. This stage is intimately tied into its storyline in a way that just works. Anyway, we got the knucklehead up there throwing rocks at us. Did anybody ever teach them not to throw rocks at kids while growing up in school? How rude. Also, we don't have that much time on the clock. I kinda wish this game would reset your clock when you got to this part of the stage, but not a whole lot we can do about that. And the heat is picking up. Quite literally. What happens here for the first phase of this boss is basically a side-scroller. You have to stay on the move and take care not to fall off screen. Otherwise, you're gonna have to do the section all over from the very beginning. Lots of empty pits to navigate, and there are of course lava beds at first and somewhere toward the end of the first phase, like this right here. Take care not to fall off these rocks either. Not a problem though, we nailed it just fine. Now you could pick up an electric shield to mean to get all the range, but my word of advice to you would be to do exactly as we've been doing throughout the entirety of the second act and stick with your fire shield. Well, if I got down here a little faster, that platform would have sank into the lava. This, on the other hand, is a different story. Tails, you'd really help if you came up here on this lone island of Earth. Alright, so here's the second phase. What'll happen is Eggman will stick its ugly face out of the lava once in a while to launch these weapons at you. Obviously, you will avoid them, and because Eggman's machine is causing the lava to be slanted, his own machinery will slide back towards him, and upon contact, it'll do damage to him. Now, you can't attack this boss yourself, as it's too heavily reinforced to allow you to do that. So whatever you do, don't try to jump on him, it's not gonna end well for you. And you especially don't want to lose your fire shield here. Nor do you want to run out of time, because we have a little over a minute left. But I think all things considered will be fine. I'm still a little nervous though. Trying to remember how many hits it takes to beat this boss. I think somewhere around the 14 through 16 mark, probably closer to 14? And if I counted right, we've nailed 12. As far as your own handiwork when dealing with boss, just jump from one platform to the next while taking care not to touch any of Eggman's weapons, and all will end well for you. Like right now. Oh, look at our time. We had like, what? Half a minute to go through. If this boss had taken any longer, I would have seriously entered panic mode. Oh gosh. But we did it, guys. Man, Lava Reef was a lot bigger of a stage than I remember it being. That never fails to amaze me. I wonder how quickly it goes by whenever you're speed running it. I'm gonna have to go look at some clips of that. Anyway, once you clear the second act, the lava's gonna cool down to the point where it's no longer a threat to you, and it's gonna keep moving towards the right, where you will come across a secret passageway leading you into the Hidden Palace Zone, the home domain of the Master Emerald, and as you guessed, Knuckles the Echidna. However, what I've decided to do is save both this stage and the Sky Sanctuary Zone for the very next video, in the interest of keeping each video at 2 acts apiece, because both the Hidden Palace and the Sky Sanctuary Zone are 1 act each. So I think it'd be a little bit more organized if I save this stage for the next video. Hopefully you all won't mind if I do that, will ya? Even though I know things are getting really epic as far as the story is concerned, especially when you get like halfway through the Hidden Palace Zone, but it's not gonna be that much longer before the next video goes up anyway, so I don't think the wait will be too agonizing for either me or you. Either way, guys, I hope you enjoyed the Lava Reef Zone. That will do it with this video. Thank you for watching. Next time, we're going to be going through the Hidden Palace Zone and the Sky Sanctuary Zone. And then for the video after that, we're going to be dealing with the very last stage in the game, the Death Egg Zone, and thus the conclusion of Sonic 3 and Knuckles. If you enjoyed this video, let me know with your likes and comments down below. Until then, guys, I'm out, take care, and don't forget, blue blurs and red blurs for life. Stay safe.